Kia ora koutou, my name is Grant Ricks. I'm the Director of Mindfulness Training and Development at the Pawsbury Smile Trust. I am joined today by Deborah Barclay, who is the Principal of Manuka Primary School in Auckland. And we will be talking about the implementation process and the effects of the Pawsbury Smile program at Manuka Primary School, who have been working with Pawsbury Smile for the past 3 years. Before I begin speaking with Deb, for those of you who are completely new to this mahi, Pawsbury Smile is New Zealand's own locally developed and researched mindfulness-based wellbeing program for schools. The program is fully funded by Southern Cross, which means that we can train any primary or intermediate school in New Zealand for free. There are no hidden costs to the training, and the funding has also meant that we are able to offer ongoing support to schools, as well as providing new resources to ensure that the initial gains made through implementing Pawsbury Smile can be sustained over time. Since partnering with Southern Cross, we have been able to train more than 5,000 educators from nearly 300 schools, reaching an estimated 72,000 kids so far. You'll hear more about the research of Pawsbury Smile, how it's implemented and what's involved in the training as we progress through this presentation, which is essentially going to be an interview with Deb Barclay. So welcome, Deb.
Let me just unmute myself. Thanks, Grant. It's nice to be here.
It's so great to have you here and to, really looking forward to hearing about Pawsbury Smile at Manuka. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, Pawsbury Smile is New Zealand's first mindfulness in schools program. It remains the only one with peer-reviewed research of its effectiveness. Findings that have been replicated across various evaluations we've done over time have shown that Pawsbury Smile leads to an increased sense of classroom calm. It improves children's ability to focus and pay attention. We see evidence of better conflict resolution skills developing, and statistically significant increases in overall childhood well-being. So really my first question for you, Deb, is do these benefits, do they ring true for you? Have you seen any of these benefits coming through at Manuka Primary School?
Oh, absolutely, Grant. Like the impact that Pawsbury Smile has had on our children has been really significant. So I think on an individual level, for those students who have demonstrated anxiety at school or in the sick bay or in the playground, they've got these amazing strategies that they can draw on now that they may not have had otherwise. So individual children have definitely flourished. Also at a classroom level, there's definitely a sense of calm in our school. So we do PBS every year in term 1, which I'll talk about in detail a bit shortly. I think, the teachers have got strategies now that they didn't have to get the children into a very calm, mindful space. So the impact that that's had in the classrooms has been, really significant. And I think also it's benefited the staff. It's one of the few PLDs out there where the staff can actually benefit as well. So it's almost for the students and the staff. So it's sort of a bonus there. We've noticed children in the playground, in our sick bay, children that visit my office, if there's been a sort of higher degree of problem going on in the playground, they are using those strategies from Pawsbury Smile in a discussion with us or in a moment when they're feeling upset. So it's just fantastic that they've got those to draw on in their wellbeing kitty.
Well, that's so wonderful to hear. And that's kind of, always been our desire and our wish for Pawsbury Smile, is that once we go in and train schools and, train the teachers to run the program in their classroom, that eventually they'll get to that point where they're able to integrate the practices across the school. And so to hear those types of examples, like using it in the sick bay and around the playground and so forth, is wonderful, really heartening.
Yeah.
And one of the really important things that we stress to schools when beginning that delivery of Pawsbury Smile is to really understand the benefits of implementing it as it was designed to be implemented, if you like. So starting at lesson 1 and going through the whole process through to lesson 8 in order to lay that really positive foundation in the school. And really a lot of what that's about is helping to teach kids basic mindfulness skills, and then how to apply those skills to real world situations, such as regulating their emotions. You know, when they're feeling stressed, are they able to draw on those mindful breathing practices and the other practices to help them move out of their red zone and into their green zone, so to speak. To, you know, really see and understand the difference between helpful and unhelpful thinking, so they can learn to let go of the unhelpful stuff and move with the helpful stuff, and so forth. So we've really designed a program where each lesson scaffolds off the last and into the next, and the practices are contextualized in a way that helps make sense for learners. But we also know and respect that there will be variations, and that it is vital for schools to take this program and make it their own. So I'm really interested to learn a little bit more about how you've been implementing Pause, Breathe, Smile at your kura. I think you've mentioned how you do it every year. So I'm interested to hear a little bit more about that and about what that process has looked like for you.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. Yeah, so we're in our 4th year now. So in the first year that we did it, you did a TOD with us on the January, and we started rolling it out that term, in term 1. And we actually never put a time frame around it. We said to the staff, you know, here's term 1, here's the manual, go for it, give it a try. And like with any new initiative in a school, there are always challenges around people fitting it into their daily program. As beneficial as it is, you know, classrooms, the programs are full from the NZC. So we learned from our first year that we actually needed to put a time frame around those 8 lessons. So in 2019, 2020, 2021, what we did is we said, okay, everyone's teaching Pause, Breathe, Smile. The 8 lessons are starting in week 2. They're going for 8 weeks. And actually, we've got it down to everyone doing it on the same day at the same time. And it might sound really prescriptive doing that, but you know, because teachers and the programs are so busy, the classroom program, you actually have to make time for it. It actually has to be a priority in your school. Otherwise, it just gets pushed out, because in that first year that we did it, we got to the end of the term and some teachers were only halfway through the 8 lessons. And so you had a holiday break in there. So we wanted it to be, I guess we wanted the program to have integrity. And so for it to have that, they actually needed to do the 8 lessons in their entirety and give it the time that it deserved. So, you know, 4 years into it, it's up and running beautifully. We know that every child in our school is getting those 8 lessons at the beginning of the year to take them through to the end of the year. A couple little issues we had were teachers wanting to water down the program, but the manual itself is just so detailed and so almost prescriptive in a great way for teachers that you don't want to skip any aspects of that. And we owe it to the children to give them that full comprehensive program. So yeah, that's a couple of things that we've done. Yeah, the other issue we had was just new staff coming in, which everybody deals with in every organisation. So we were blessed this year to see that free PLD coming through for new staff. We can quickly book them onto that, because if you have someone coming into the school in term 3 and you've got PBS, you know, functioning in your classrooms all through the year, suddenly you've got an issue because there's a teacher from another school coming in who hasn't had the training. So, but look, there are issues everybody has. So it's just around getting around those. And I think as an organisation, you guys have been amazing in terms of, you know, putting up those workshops for free PLD.
Yeah, wonderful. Oh, great. That's good to hear. Always love that feedback. And so you're doing it all at the start of the year, and every teacher is running the full program through with their classroom. So just coming back to the integration, what sort of practices, you know, that have come through from Pause, Breathe, Smile do you do and use on an ongoing basis in the school.
Absolutely. So as always, sustainability of a new initiative is always something we need to consider. It's interesting with Pause, Breathe, Smile because the teachers see so much benefit from doing it, from the impact it has on the children, that they quite naturally take those mindful lessons and strategies into other aspects of the day. So after morning tea, after lunchtime, before home time. So even without asking the staff to integrate those different lessons, they would sort of do those anyway. Some more than others, of course. I mean, we've got really passionate staff here on PBS, and they just absolutely love it and wouldn't consider going a day without implementing some form of Pause, Breathe, Smile in their classroom. So I think it's become, because we've done it for so long now, it's a part of our school culture. There's that lovely language, Pause, Breathe, Smile language going on in the school. And it's not even telling the staff that after those 8 lessons, they need to be doing it. It just naturally occurs. The other ways that we've integrated it is at our weekly hui. So our junior school have a hui every Monday, a senior school have a hui every Tuesday, and that always starts with a mindfulness practice. And we get a different teacher to take that every week. So that's our little nudge to ensure that the teachers are really well informed and are doing their research on coming up with something interesting for the children. So they're delving back into the program if they're not already. We also do a PBS at our staff meetings and team meetings. So I think when you're getting the teachers to do it and it becomes a part of their teaching practice and part of the school at a sort of an admin level, it just naturally rolls into the classroom. And of course, the teachers find it so beneficial for themselves as well. I also promo it a lot through our school app. So we've got the school application dojo. And at this term, just right now, on a Wednesday in the middle block when we teach PBS, I'm going around taking photos and videos. So it's really important that the parents see that we value it. And it's amazing the feedback we get from parents and have in the past of how much they're learning about Pause, Breathe, Smile. Not just from the information that I'm giving them from school, but their children actually go home and talk about it, and they have a laugh because the kids talk about, mindfulness around the dinner table, etc. So we actually know it is making its way into people's homes. So it's well integrated in the school, put it that way.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's so great to hear about that, reaching into the community. I always said, when we started Pause, Breathe, Smile, going back nearly 10 years ago now, that I kind of thought of it as being almost like a 30-year community development project, the beginning of one. And, we started by going in directly and training kids in the classroom, and the teachers were participants in the program. And it was really interesting to see at that time the benefits that teachers got themselves just through participating in the program. And then, of course, we took the next step and went to training teachers to deliver the program directly to their learners with that view of long-term sustainability. And it's been a real joy to hear, time and again, how teachers benefit both from the PLD and then through implementing and learning alongside their learners. And then, also to hear that, which is relatively common too, to hear how kids take this home and then their parents get really interested. And, that's really heartwarming to kind of see those benefits reaching out. Okay, so, what else have I got here to ask you today? Yeah, so I guess, we're probably getting close to the time on this already. As it's through the partnership of Southern Cross that we can offer all of the Pause, Breathe, Smile training and school supports to primary and intermediate schools free of charge. Now, we're living sort of in an age of absolute overwhelm. I've been saying this for years, but it's really just getting more and more extreme, with living through the pandemic. And we've got this whole generation of kids who are living through pandemic times. Climate change is a massive issue, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. And then, of course, you know, what's happening in the international space and the tragic events in Ukraine at the moment. You know, we've got, kids are growing up in really, really uncertain times, but so are the teachers and so are schools. And we know that schools are feeling overwhelmed, even just with managing the pandemic alone, let alone these other issues that are here on our plates before us. And I think it can be really easy for schools to sort of close the doors on other initiatives that maybe are just the thing that they really need right now. So, you know, I'm interested in your thoughts around that. Do you see Pause Breathe Smile as being something that can really help with schools to manage the anxiety, both among teaching staff and then also for their children at this point in history? To put that another way, would you say that, you know, now is the time to really be implementing a program like Pause Breathe Smile?
Oh, absolutely. Look, I can't speak more highly enough of the PBS program. It's just, you know, at the end of the day, the core values of the program, self-care, compassion, self-compassion, kindness, you know, we're so much in need of that right now. And I think, you know, I've said to you before, Grant, I think as educators, I think we owe it to our students and our children moving through this climate to provide them with a self-care tool for their kiddo at the end of the day. You know, not every child will adopt those strategies, but so many do. And if they can just take those on and even take them on to, you know, intermediate and high school with them, then I think, you know, we've done them a huge service. And like you said, it's one of the few programs where the staff benefit as well. I mean, it is a really stressful time for schools. Teachers are under enormous pressure, and leaders are within schools, and it's just so refreshing to have a program in a school where, you know, the teachers are learning it, but while they're teaching it, they're benefiting from it so much themselves in terms of their own self-care. I mean, I can certainly say I use the strategies a lot myself. And I mean, what a wonderful program to have in schools at this time. I think it's needed. We've got more kids coming on with anxiety than ever before. In fact, I just had a little boy in our sick bay who we suspect has COVID, and he was just so panicked by that through what he's heard. And we took him through some lovely breathing exercises and calmed him right down. Now, we may not have done that 5 years ago, but we've got the skills to do that now, and he knows the PBS way. And so, and you know, after a few minutes, we've had calmed him right down, and his mum just picked him up. So I just think it's needed, it's important, and yeah, we owe it to our kids to provide them with that. It aligns beautifully with the NZC. It's not some extra thing that, you know, you have to take on board. It fits so beautifully with Te Whare Tapawha. So it just aligns with so much that's going on at the moment in a school. So I 100% recommend it for the children and for your staff.
Wonderful. That's a real joy to hear. And I was about to throw you in a kind of hot seat question of, you know, thinking back sort of before Pause Breathe Smile and now sort of 3 years after, like, what's the difference in your kura? And I think you kind of answered it there, you know, with that story of the boy you've just been working with and having those strategies now and the shared language and all of that. So I guess just to close off a little, is there any sort of final words that come to mind for you for schools, or do you feel like that sort of captured everything?
Oh, I just think it's just the most beautiful program to have in the school. I think it brings about just a beautiful energy in a workplace and in a school. It brings about that lovely shared language. It gives teachers the skills and tools to work with children who might be anxious, or any child actually. And it's just a wonderful thing to be teaching young people in this climate that we're living through at the moment. So as I said, I couldn't recommend it more. We love having the program on our website. I've got up there, we are so proud to be a Pause Breathe Smile school. And I honestly mean that. I share it with as many people as I can because I can see the benefits of it for the children. And yeah, I'm just so proud that we are a PBS school.
Fantastic. Well, that's so wonderful. I really thank you for your time for this. That's just been so wonderful to hear. And I guess just to close off for everyone watching this, you'll see a slide maybe in a moment coming up about how you can get involved, get your school involved. Very simply, heading to our website, pawsbury.smile.nz, and you can register your interest there. We have been pivoting in response to COVID, like everybody else in the world, and we have training options that don't require you to put aside a full teacher-only day. We still will come and do those. We love coming into the school and running face-to-face training, but we've also tried and tested running this online now, and we're getting great feedback from that. And so we can run this in sessions, you know, during staff meeting time or after school over time to help you get up to speed and get you trained up to deliver this within your kura. And then we are increasing our wraparound support, drawing on expertise from people in the in-school communities like we have here today with Deb. We're doing that regularly now, so you can hear from other teachers and principals, plus tap into new resources we're creating to really help sustain the benefits over time and integrate this as part of classroom daily life. So thank you so much for listening to this interview. I hope it's been of value to you all. And just a huge heartfelt thanks again to you, Deb, for sharing your expertise and your wisdom in this space.
You're welcome.
I've done this for 3 years. Great, thank you.
Thank you.